Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Widener Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support at sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Widener Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give an official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Widener Show, international warring author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is an illusion and those you love be the first to go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews and even endorsed by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today for Goes Missing by Mia Molson-Zia. Also, check out the Mike Widener Show at themikewidenershow.com. You can check our Facebook page at facebook.com/the Mike Widener Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Audible, and Apple. Coming soon to Podbean, Buzzsprout, Pandora, and TuneIn, and heard worldwide on Geo 7, Radio Public, Himalaya, and more. Take the Mike Widener Show on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Widener Show on the YouTube channel, and follow the Mike Widener Show on Instagram and Twitter today. And don't forget to check out the merchandise on the Mike Widener Show. Go to Amazon.com and check out the Mike Widener Show podcast, T-shirts, pop sockets, hoodies, throw pillows, tote bags, and more. And for more great gift ideas, including great books by Mia Molson-Zia and more, go to Amazon.com and check out the Mia Molson-Zia store. Make sure you order your stuff today for your loved ones, and don't forget to support the Mike Widener Show at themikewidenershow.com. Make sure you give a good, generous donation. We greatly appreciate it. Also, we take donations on Anchor FM/support and also on PayPal as well at the Mike Widener Show. Make sure you do so today. We're here with 2 terrific ladies, and one of from New Hampshire and one of from Seattle, and they've got an award-winning book which teaches about money involving energy and many other things. We'll talk about that. And we have a lady who is a highly skilled consultant, teacher, and a coach specializing in Feng Shui, and basically just working with clients, helping refocus. And also we have another lady who is internationally recognized and a certified astrologer, and specializes in business and economic astrology, 15 years in sales and marketing. And, how do they pull this off? Well, we're going to find out in just a minute. And live, ladies and gentlemen, from the Plus Studios, on both coasts, one from New Hampshire, one from Seattle, just all coming together in pure energy. Ladies and gentlemen, the authors of Money is an Energy Game, Madeline Gerwick and Peg Donahue. Ladies, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us.
Hello, Mike. It's really a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, we're delighted.
Well, it's great to have you guys on board. And I mean, what you have is just amazing. We'll talk about the amazing combination. And you have an award-winning book, which also was named Book of the Year on Money and Energy. And also, Peg, you're a highly skilled consultant, teacher, and coach specializing in Feng Shui. I'll get that a few times.
Feng Shui.
Feng Shui, okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
And also, you also work with clients, help them refocus. And Madeline, you're also an internationally recognized and certified astrologer, specialized in business and economic astrology, 15 years in sales and marketing, and just all that. So, I mean, just an amazing array. And before we get into all that, tell us how you first met, first of all, by the way, before you guys got your careers. How'd you guys first meet?
Well, we first met through prosperity training. We were both taking the same prosperity training program. And Polaris Business Guides, my company, was looking for Feng Shui consultants, and Peg is a Feng Shui consultant, and she contacted us. And then we started teaching 8 Keys to the Ultimately Prosperous Business. We then developed the Art of Conscious Language program, and then we developed Take an Energy Inventory for Prosperity. So 3 programs, and we were teaching those for a number of years, and then we said, let's put it all into a book so we can take it to a lot more people. And that's how the book occurred.
Wow, that is interesting. And tell us how you got started in your career. So Peg, go ahead and start how you got started in your career, and Madeline, you can follow as well.
All right. Well, in 2000, just at the turn of the century, I left a 21-year career that I had in corporate work. I was doing database marketing, which is actually the precursor to all the social media that we have today.
Mhm.
I actually was just going to take 6 months off. Take 6 months off. I had worked for the same company for 21 years and get another job. Well, it's turned into another 21 years. I went down the rabbit hole of metaphysics and how things happen and manifesting.
Oh, wow.
And I had realized I had always been practicing Feng Shui. I didn't know it really, what it was or the language behind it. But when I discovered it as an art, a science and an art, it's like, wow, I already do this. I know a lot of this stuff, or the intuitive aspect of it. So go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I actually went through 3 professional training programs and got certified both in the Western and the Asian systems. And then it was my clients who pulled me in deeper into doing release work, emotional release work. I went through a biobiology program to learn about healthy houses. I was studying prosperity and manifesting, just how things happen, because I realized that many people don't know what they want. They're focused on what they don't want. And then you ask them, well, what do you want? It's like, well, I don't know. And so anyways, I've been doing this since early 2001, and it's been fabulous.
Wow, it does sound fabulous. And what first got you interested in Feng Shui?
Really, how the energy of your environment and how things work. When I was in a corporate environment, actually we had a company policy of neatness. And I knew that the teams that I manage, our spaces were always neat. Sometimes the rest of the company wasn't neat. Paper piles would stack up and it would just get, stuck energy. My office always had to be nice and neat. And I always brought flowers in on a regular basis. And I had plants. I had a lot of life force in there. People were walking, oh gosh, this feels really good. And then in my home environment, I grew up in a family of 9 kids. So you can imagine what a house is like, 9 kids, 11 people going around. We often had piles of, laundry that need to be folded and meals and dishes were, piling high and all that. I spent a lot of time actually keeping the house neat. It just was second nature to me that, we need to whip things into shape. And so then when, in the late 90s, more and more information came out about Feng Shui, the art and science. It was actually brought from the East to the West, and, with the need to get this information out to people. And I remember taking a day off of work one day. By that time, I had a large collection of Feng Shui books. I stacked them all up, and I just took my house plan and I mapped all of this information from the Western system and the Asian system onto my house plan. I sat back and said, oh my gosh, the 2 systems are practically the same with what they're teaching you and how this energy is moving. And so I just became really intrigued with it and how your space can impact your life. And and what you do. And I noticed the patterns in my own space and what was happening. It's like, wow, there's something to this. And then as I started working with clients and they'd report back to me, a change that they'd make and what happened as a result. Oh my gosh. And then I would, as I go in and consult, and now I do a lot of it over the web as well. I just, poke and ask them some questions, but it turned out a lot of it is intuitive. One day I remember, being in a house and just tell me about that cabinet. Oh my gosh, the story that came out of that. And this particular piece had been custom made. It was a wedding gift.
Wow.
A very special wedding gift, but this couple never liked it. And it was in,
oh my gosh.
It happened to be in an area of their house that represented children. And the reason they called me in is because they wanted to have a child and they were having trouble conceiving a child. And so in that particular instance, that piece really represented a huge blockage in that area that represented children. Also in their yard, the way that their lot was shaped, the area representing children was cut short. So I look for patterns in spaces and I educate people about the patterns in their spaces and the choices that they can make and provide them options as what they can do. And the people that call me call about very serious life issues that they are trying to shift. It might be a job, it might be about family members or relationships, or in that particular case, it was about conceiving a child.
Wow.
And many things. It's just phenomenal. Yeah.
I was just thinking about it when you had your office space with plants, it's neat and everything else. It's like I wish I would known about this 30 years ago. I would have picked up a phone from my desk and say, "Hey, can you help me?" And it's just like I guess I'm just I don't know if you remember The Odd Couple where Felix was neat, Oscar was a slob, or the
Yes,
other way
yes.
around. It's like I was more of Oscar. That's the whole thing. You know something? If I would known this 30 years ago, I would have picked up the phone and called you, and you could have helped me out. It's like I wish I would have done that, but
Well, you know what? You know about it now.
Yeah,
And
that's
so,
right.
so each of us has to start from where we are now. We're always in the exact right spot to move forward. So it's no looking back or wishing, things were different. It's just taking our knowledge and action and moving forward with it.
hmm and of
And
course.
so,
And of
yeah.
course, taking the action moving forward as well too. And Madeline, that you've got a really good story. You're also a internationally recognized certified astrologer, specialized in business and economic astrology. 15 years in sales and marketing. And tell us how you got started in your career as well too. What led you to?
It's a very funny story. I was actually waiting tables in a restaurant
Oh
when I
wow.
was a college student, right? And this guy comes in and he watches me for maybe 10 minutes and then he says, "I bet you're a Virgo." And I am a Virgo. In fact, Peg and I are both Virgos.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
And so, so of course, this guy was, he was angling for a date. So I
Mhm.
agreed. I
What's
went out.
your sign? Yeah, your typical pickup line, but gets more in depth. Yeah, what's your sign?
But what he had was a book about astrology where you could read about yourself, right?
Huh.
So I go on this date, and the book turned out to be by Grant Louis, and it was heaven knows what. And in the back of the book, you could look up your birthday or anybody that you knew, and you could go read these different paragraphs about the energies of the day that you were born.
Oh
So
wow.
so I went and read about myself, and then I looked up my entire family, and I couldn't believe it. It was so accurate. I was just stunned. I could not understand how this could work. And here I am. I'm studying science, and all this, and so I just had to know. I had to know how could this possibly work. And I went searching in my little town of 28,000. I was living in New Hampshire at the time,
hmm
and I found two books on astrology, and one was like Linda Goodman's Sun Sign, and the other one was the Astrologer's Handbook,
Oh
and it
wow.
was about maybe I don't know 300 pages, all technical.
hmm
I read it over and over and over and over again, trying to understand it, and
Yes,
then
yes. How,
eventually I
how
moved
to
to
how to
Seattle.
check out the stars and how to check out the signs. I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it was astrology actually very technical, very
Mhm.
complicated, very complex. So, so it took me quite a while to understand a lot that was in that book because I didn't have all the fundamentals. So it took me moving to Seattle, taking a bunch of astrology classes where there were a lot of astrology classes in Seattle, and then getting certified, eventually. So that's how that happened.
hmm and you also spent 15 years in sales and marketing as well too, and you got your company called Polaris, and tell us more about that and more about your experience and how that ties into astrology.
Well, I was very interested in business and economics. And so one of the things I discovered was that once I got out of college and I had done very, very well. I had graduated magna cum laude in economics, but what they taught us in economics, quite a bit of it didn't work.
Mm.
And so then I started learning about economic cycles in astrology and business cycles in astrology. And that actually worked way better than a lot of the stuff we were taught in college. So I incorporated the two of them together, and that's when I started offering economic and business services. And I have a book out called The Good Timing Guide that I
Oh wow. Okay.
publish every year, and I've been putting it out since 1997. But it's just a color coded guide so people can understand good days and good times to do important activities and days to avoid doing important activities because nothing's going to come of it.
Huh. Interesting.
So nice to know that, you see. And so a basic tool, right?
Hmm.
And then I write a newsletter that goes with it that gives more of the economic and business trends and tells people what the energies are so that they can understand the best ways to use the energies
Hmm. And of
at
course,
their disposal.
using energy properly as well too. And this also ties into money, which we're going to talk more about the book in just a minute. But first, listen
Yes.
to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at SonicWebStudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960, or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is an illusion and those you love be the first to go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews and even loved and enjoyed by Hollywood celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today before it goes missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon. Don't forget to check out the Mike Wagner Show on the MikeWagnerShow.com and over 30 podcast platforms on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Audible, and Apple as well too. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and check out the Mike Wagner Show merchandise at the Mike Wagner Show on Amazon as well too. Check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast, and for great gift ideas, including great books by Mia Molson-Zia, check out the Mia Molson-Zia store at Amazon.com. And don't forget to support the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com. Also on PayPal and Anchor FM. Make sure you do so today. We're here with 2 terrific ladies, the authors of Money is an Energy Game, with Madeline Gerwick and Peg Donahue here on the Mike Wagner Show. And we learned a lot about their histories, and we'll talk more about the book. And of course, an obvious question is, and we'll start off with, and I'm very curious, is what prompted you to write this book?
Well, we wanted to take our message to a larger audience. As Madeline said earlier, we had 3 programs: 8 Keys to the Ultimate Prosperous Business, program about conscious language, and a 3rd program about take an energy inventory for prosperity. And we had been teaching that for a number of years, and we wanted to ramp it up. So we decided that let's put it all together in a book and take it out to the public, really, so that more people could come across this information. Because in both of our lines of work, we come across many people who unintentionally focus or draw energy to what they don't want instead of what they really do want.
How so?
And so that's a first place to start. What is it that you really do want? I often, chat with people, and they'll tell me, well, I don't want this and this and this or that. And I'll listen for a while, and then I'll say, okay, well, what do you want? What? I just told you. I said, no, you told me what you don't want. But what do you want? And they're taken aback. And then they'll think and say, I really don't know. I said, all right, well, let's start there. Let's start with what you want.
Mm-hmm.
But a good place to begin is when you know what you don't want, because then you can turn that into the opposites and begin to focus on what you would like to draw into your life.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, that sounds pretty good. And Madeline, you can go ahead and jump in too.
Well, one of the things that we wanted to help people understand is that most of us have been trained to push money away. And so we wanted to give them tools so that they could just use a lot of different possible ways to bring money to them and to refocus their energy in a more positive way. And in many cases, what's going on is that most of us have been trained not to trust the universe, God, Goddess, whatever word you want to use, so that we're always trying to do it alone. We're always trying to do it by ourselves rather than with the assistance of the universe, which has much more power and much more understanding of how something can be created than we do.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of what happens is we're trying to refocus people into not only knowing what they want, but entrusting the universe to deliver it once they're focused on what they want instead of what they don't want. Because you can't, the universe can never deliver to you whatever you don't believe or trust. So if you don't believe that the universe can help you, it can't help you. If you don't believe money can come to you easily without earning every penny, it can't deliver that to you in any other way except with earning it, and so on. So it just depends on your beliefs. If you believe money is dirty, like the filthy rich or something like that, you may not want to be filthy rich. And so that, that is pushing away money. Or you might believe that you don't deserve it, or you might believe that you can't be spiritual and have money. And if you believe any of those things, the universe is obligated not to deliver something to you that you're pushing away.
And many people have a money ceiling. It's the highest amount of money that they will allow the universe to bring them. And that's often the highest amount of money they've ever had in their bank account. They'll get it up and then they'll start working it down and making it disappear. And then they'll worry about it. Oh my gosh, I need the money to pay my bills. They'll work really hard to bring it back in, and then it goes right out. And so what we're doing is teaching people the skills to keep the flow going, and also to raise your ceiling, raise your expectations and your beliefs, and know that you can have it. And it's really about prosperity. It's not just about money, but it's about blessings and prosperity and living a life that you'd really like to live.
And of course, why does money command so much attention in our lives? And name some of the factors you talked about. I can't do this, I can't do that. What are some of the factors that cause you to say, it's impossible to have money? What are some of the factors, and why is the money command our attention a lot?
Well, pretty much everything that we do requires money. And if you really look at this in the most direct sense, money and everything around us is made up of energy. So really, money is just a form of energy. And everything that we're doing requires an energy impact. So whether we think of it as money or we think of it as energy, it really doesn't matter. It's the same thing. And there's nothing that you can create that isn't created without energy. Everything's created from energy. So in that sense, everything is also created from money. At least in our culture.
And then we often say, well, why does money command so much attention? Whoever came up with the idea that these piles of green pieces of paper and these little metal circles, you stack them up, that it would have so much power over our lives. And we have allowed that to happen. And so what we're doing in this book is teaching you new tips, tools, and techniques. We have over 100 tips, tools, and techniques to change the way your relationship with money, your relationship with energy, so that you're cultivating really positive energy within yourself, and then you're attracting what it is you want into your life.
Okay. And what are the top 3 your favorite techniques to attract money? Name some of those. The top 3.
My favorite one is workshopping. And this is actually something that Esther Hicks brought through from Abraham. And it takes a minimum of 68 seconds per day.
Really?
And which is not much time.
And a minute and 8 seconds.
Yeah, it's very effective, highly effective. And a minimum of 17 seconds each time you do it. So if you only did it for 17 seconds, you'd have to do it 4 times a day to meet the minimum. But the first thing you want to do is get yourself in high energy. You want to think of some wonderful event that happened and how happy you were when it occurred. And once you're in that energy, then you want to start thanking the universe for having already provided whatever it is that you want. And you must use those words, for having already provided, because you never want to ask the universe, God, Goddess, whoever, for anything. Because if you ask for something, not only are you basically saying I lack it, you're affirming that you lack it, but you're also expecting it in the future. And you are never going to arrive in the future. You're always in the present moment. So you always want to thank the universe for having already provided it. And then give it a nice list, nice set of descriptions of what it is you want, and maybe the time frame you need it or want it in, you know, so that you are very specific about what it is you're creating. And you let the universe figure out how to create it. And when you're done with that, and most people go into problems with allowing it to happen. But when you get to the point that you say, oh, that's too easy, or this will never happen, or that'll never occur, whatever, you want to cancel clear that, even right out loud, and just put in a positive statement that supports your intention. Of course, the universe wants me to have X, whatever that is, because it does, unless you push it away by declaring that it shouldn't send it to you. And that's my favorite one. Astrology is my second favorite, and Feng Shui is my third favorite.
And so I typically go to Feng Shui first. And so there's some key principles there that energy comes to you through your front door. So you want to keep that entrance to your house or your business in really great shape. Keep it open, keep it clutter-free. Second, your master bedroom. Again, we spend a third of our life sleeping, and many people are working at home now. So their master bedroom may be doubling as an office as well. It's really important to separate your work from your sleeping. When we sleep, we are recharging our body, and our body is looking to heal itself and sending your soul out to the universe to bring back answers. So it's really important that your bedroom, the energy of your bedroom, in great shape. And then the wealth corner. So the wealth corner, if you take say your house or your office and just put a tic-tac-toe board over it, and you're standing at the entrance, then that far left corner, the furthest corner on the left, is what we call the wealth area, wealth and prosperity. And you can do this for your house. You can do this every room in your house. You do it for your land. You do it for your workspace or your business. So that far left corner, wealth and prosperity. And what you want to do there is keep it clean, keep it clutter-free, keep paper piles, down to a minimum. Clutter and depression tend to grow from the floor up. So, get rid of those, eliminate those, empty your trash can regularly. So there's a lot of practicality to Feng Shui. What I do is help people cut right through it. Some people think it's just about decorating or having your house in, magazine picture shape. And that's not it at all. It's about the energy flow. You want to keep your electric and your plumbing in great shape as well. Your windows are your vision, to the world. And then once it's in great shape, vacuum, regularly as well, high and low, deep into the corners, get those cobwebs out, really get a great flow of energy. And then you can energize it for prosperity. Put some things in that area that remind you of blessings, that remind you of prosperity. It could be something like a green plant. It's a fresh flowers, great symbology. It could be a treasured item, something. It could be money. It could be a money jar, that's there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, one of the and this goes for your desk as well. So one of the favorite things I have on my desk, well, it's one of my favorite gifts I've ever received. One of my brothers had sent it back from the Mideast when he was over there years ago. It's an inlaid box, and he sent it as a Christmas gift, and it came with gold, frankincense, and myrrh.
Wow.
And that is like, wow.
Hey, buddy, that's what I want for Christmas.
And that is like one of my all-time favorite gifts. It's like, wow, that is so cool. So that is one of my favorite treasured items for prosperity and attracting money. And again, anything that reminds you of blessings coming into you. Into your life, but keep it fresh, keep it vibrant, keep it flowing. Water, a mirror is a great accent in your wealth area as well, because mirrors represent water energy, and water represents flow. The words Feng Shui mean wind and water.
Wind and water, interesting.
So the water flow. Water represents money, and when you have water flowing, you want to have water coming towards you. So if you have a water feature or a pond in your yard or whatever, it's more favorable if the water is flowing toward you versus
Right.
away from you.
Huh.
For many years, I drove by a house in a former neighborhood. They had a great water feature, but it flowed towards the street, and their neighbor benefited from it versus they
Oh my
benefited from
gosh.
it because the water was flowing away from them. Yeah, so you want to have that
Wow.
water flow towards you. So
Mhm. It-
it's very, sometimes very subtle things in your space, and that's what a feng shui practitioner such as myself can help decipher and help. We're looking for the patterns
hmm.
that are there.
It's interesting. You talk about all the things you have in your house, like with plants and waters and pictures and everything else. And how about pets? How big of a factor is it involved when it comes to having pets in the house? Like say
Oh,
you
pets are wonderful. Pets represent fire energy. See, in feng shui, we're
fire.
working with the 5 elements of wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. So pets and people are fire energy. So your dog runs in or your cat runs in, they fire up a space.
Huh.
They bring life to it, and that's what you want. You want a life force. You want good, positive chi meandering through your space.
Wow.
And so the other thing we're working with people on is bringing balance, because spaces can get out of balance very easily. You could have, it could be overrun with pets, say, then you'd want to, bring in some other energy to balance that off.
Hmm.
You know.
That's quite interesting. And we'll talk about the amazing timing in the book. We'll also talk about a framework over a 6-week period and the game aspect. We'll talk about those in just a minute in the book. Money is an Energy Game with co-authors Madeline Gerwick and Peg Donahue here on the Mike Wagner Show. We're going to take a quick time out. You listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by SonicWeb Studios. Visit online at SonicWebStudios.com for all your needs. Also brought to you by our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson-Zia of Missing, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. We'll be back with the authors of Money is an Energy Game, Madeline Gerwick and Peg Donahue, after this time out. We're back with authors Madeline Gerwick and Peg Donahue of Money is an Energy Game here on the Mike Wagner Show. And very interesting story about, how money can be like a great energy tool, and talked about what it can do and everything. And it also involves a chapter on good timing. So that's a thing that is a really thing you say it's like, oh, this is not the time to do it. Is it good timing? Is it bad timing? Timing seems to take place in it. And what are the most important factors that influence good timing with attracting money?
Well, one of the most important things is not to do something important during a timeout period. There are time periods every week, about 3 times a week, and they can range anywhere from a few minutes to, actually up to 2 days. That doesn't happen very often. I'd say on average, they might last 5 to 8 hours, something like that. And if they happen during the middle of the night, who cares? You're sleeping. But if they happen during a work time, then you're sort of pushing the river. It's very hard because the universe is not actually taking action at that point. It's in a gestation mode. And it's really at rest. So when you try to make something happen during one of those periods, nothing happens, nothing comes of it, you see. So why put a lot of time and effort and money into making something happen at the wrong time when you could just as easily choose a good time to send something out, or to take an important action, sign an important contract, or send out an important promotion, introduce a new product, launch a website, start a company, etc. So there's good times to start and bad times to start things. And years ago, this is probably only over 20 years ago, maybe almost 30 years ago now, there was a research project where astrologers chose 1,400 bankrupt companies to look at. And they looked at their incorporation data, and they wanted to know, is there some magic, cycle that occurs when people start a company and they fail? Is there something that's associated that way? And 100% of them started during a timeout period.
Wow.
Yeah, that is so amazing.
Yeah. So that's a great data point, to understand how important it can be to use good timing. And, if you're going to do something important, like, launch a website, or even relaunch a website, or you're going to start a company, you're going to sell a product or sell a property, that's another big one, selling a property or buying a property. Those are times when a lot of money can change hands. You know, you could be a lot more successful and have more money on either end if you're using good timing. And let's suppose you're going to sign an important contract with a vendor. You would like that contract to work out well, easily. And so a good time to sign it would be valuable for that whole thing to work out well. Or to start a company. There's so many factors associated with starting a company, and the chart for starting a company, when you start it with the state, that's when companies start, is when the state starts it. And when that chart shows everything that occurs in a company. It shows all the finances, it shows the creditors, it shows the customers, the marketing, it shows the physical company itself, the locations where it will do the best. It shows the company reputation, how the public perceives it, what the products and services are that will be successful. It shows everything, operations, everything you can think of in a company is in the birth chart of the company. Yeah. And so I do consultations to help businesses understand, you know, what the issues are with their company and how they can work around them or improve them. And sometimes the solution is just to restart a company at a better time.
It's interesting. You talk about you know, starting a website, signing a contract, and everything else, and most importantly, I think you forgot to mention starting a podcast.
Yes,
absolutely.
Starting a podcast,
that's starting a business.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's like introducing a new product, right? So anytime you're going to introduce a new product or you're going to send out a promotion, you would like it to be on a good day, you know, at a good time, so that things continue to flow easily and well.
And it sounds like good timing as well, too. And do you have anything to add as well, too, in terms of timing, Peg?
Oh, absolutely. I have been following astrology since I was a teenager. So I was delighted when Madeline, when I met Madeline and she introduced me to the Good Timing Guide, because it's like a traffic system. It is so easy to use. But back when I had a corporate job, I paid attention to the void moons, and that's what the timeout is.
Yeah.
And so Madeline has made the process easier, but I always made sure that the clients that I managed or was responsible for, my team was responsible for, that their contracts were signed during favorable days, i.e. they were not signed during void moons. And many of the relationships that, you know, I would be handed the difficult relationships, so the clients that didn't work out, to clean up and get rectified. And inevitably, their contracts were signed during timeout periods.
Wow.
And, you know, I didn't talk about astrology then. I just, you know, I worked with it all the time. I just maneuvered things. You know, sometimes I might have to delay things a little bit in order to get it into a good time, or, you know, accelerate it. But I would, you know, work with good timing myself. And I had a lot of success. Yeah, it's huge.
That sounds like it too. And of course, you know, speaking of time frames and everything, you also provide a framework for people to monitor their energy over a 6-week period. And what should they be noticing?
Well, you want to talk about that, Madeline?
Oh, well, I was just going to say, there's a whole list of things in there, starting with sleep and food and exercise. And then monitoring your mental, shall we say, not just thoughts, but the mental information that you're taking in,
patterns.
Your mental patterns, your conversations with other people and how they leave you feeling, your emotional patterns, and your spiritual practices. So all of those are covered in that 6-week period, and it's just for you to get an idea. This pattern that I'm doing is working, or this one isn't working, and then you can make a change if you want. If you want more money, you can say, I think I'll switch this.
We provide you a worksheet that just track it, like, you know, during food week. It's not about going on a diet, it's not about counting calories, it's just noting the food that you eat and how you feel. Sleep week is noting what time did you go to bed, what time did you wake up, how do you feel, what were you doing. So
because the better you feel, the easier it is to attract money. So you can't attract money when you're tired. You're too tired, your energy's low.
Not if you drink coffee, you don't attract money? Seriously?
Well, if you get your energy up drinking coffee, you could.
Well, I guess I have to switch
But-
brands of coffee. It's like get myself up and make more money with coffee. So
and eat really good food during the day. Eat food that
Yeah.
has, food has a life force, and you can taste it in the food. You can take, like in our area right now, it's the season for fresh strawberries. So I've been getting local fresh strawberries, and oh my goodness, do they have vitality in them?
wow.
That's what you want in your food.
Mhm.
Food that is alive and
Yeah.
and fresh and has a high vitality, because you're taking that into your body, and then that's helping your own energy.
Hmm.
Yeah,
That is
your
a-
energy is the same as your money.
Hmm.
So if your energy is low for any reason, it doesn't really matter what the reason is. Your money is basically running away from you.
Mhm.
Right.
That's true. And you also talked the most important one in the book. It's the game aspect. So how does the game work?
Well,
The game, go ahead.
go ahead.
Okay, the game is about having fun with this whole process. It's not meant to be heavy or punitive at all. And so the game is, you get to do it your way. You can identify what it is you'd like to work on. Maybe there's a particular, maybe you want to change the end to your stories, or be more conscious about the words you choose, the language that you're using on a regular basis. So you decide what it is you want to put into practice. And then you can set it up with points. You can set it up with different prizes or rewards or benefits for yourself, so that and you keep track of it. You can do it by yourself. You can do it with colleagues or friends. It's all about having fun with this. So you choose where you want to start. We recommend that you start with something simple. Start with something relatively easy for yourself, because when you are changing your patterns and changing your skills, the energy accumulates. If you start with the hard, it's the same thing with clutter clearing. If you start with the hardest thing, it's going to take a long time to perfect it. But start with something light and start with something easy. So it might be something such as your words. Like I remember at the beginning of the show, you were saying, no, don't forget. And that's a pet peeve of mine, because I will always say, I'll remember. So it might be saying, so remember to take a look at my products, remember to make a donation, remember.
Wow.
So, and then you're moving people in the direction of what you want. So using words that are uplifting.
Yeah, the universe doesn't hear don't and not and negative words, you see. So, and your customers don't either.
Wow.
Because they don't have a picture of not in their mind.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. So I think the chapters that we have in there on language are really fun, because many of our stories, they come from, families, your parents, your grandparents, and, what you grew up with. And a lot of it is don'ts,
Mhm.
and then, families get together, and families are getting together now after being apart for a long time.
Mhm.
And they'll be telling a lot of stories, and somebody will add and embellish it. And so we recommend focusing on what's working, and then change the ending to a story if it's a negative ending to a positive ending. Change it so it's what it is you want. And you can do that in a very authentic and very honest way.
Okay. Well, that sounds very good. Because that actually reminded me of a story about Jimmy Johnson and how he handled the Dallas Cowboys. Instead of saying "don't fumble the ball," you say "protect the ball." And so what
that's
it did,
right.
Yeah,
that is it. Exactly.
Right. And as a result, that the Dallas Cowboys end up fumbling the ball fewer times than they did before too, all because of it. That's amazing. So
well, how about this? They ended up protecting the ball more often.
That's right. And that's a very
good.
And where can we find your book at?
Moneyisanenergygame.com. It's very simple. The same name as the book, moneyisanenergygame.com. And Peg and I both have our bios there as well. And our own websites are there as well on the author page.
Okay.
And then another very important piece that we have in the book is early in the book, we talk about releasing your blocks to prosperity, or releasing your blocks. If you're holding beliefs like, oh, this will never work, I won't have it. So I provide what's called an emotional freedom and healing tapping release. And there's a link there. So everyone who has the book can put the link into their browser, and it'll take you to a 45-minute recording where you can, it's acupressure tapping, tap away those fears or tap away those beliefs that you would like to let go of. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that sounds very good as well, too. Once again, we're with Madeline Gerwick and Peg Donahue of Money is an Energy Game on the Mike Wagner Show. Ladies, a very thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to having you again soon. And quickly, who do you consider biggest influences in your career?
Biggest influences?
Yes.
Loving what you do. That's what I would say. Being passionate about what you do and making a difference, making a positive difference with what you do.
Okay. And what can we expect from you guys in 2021 and beyond?
Well, we're going to continue to work with this. We will be coming out with a workbook, a little toolkit to help people implement these tools as well.
And we hope to get started on teaching webinars and then translating them into other languages.
Okay. Well, that sounds very good. And what's the best advice you guys can give to anybody at this point?
Be happy.
That's what I was going to say too. Find something to be happy. Find something to be happy about every day.
Every day.
And every one of us can do this. And there's a tipping point. We're human and things aren't always going the way you want. So the tipping point is 3 to 1. So whenever you're in a negative mode, go for 3 times as many positive experiences, words, stories, or whatever. So 3 to 1 will snap you out of it.
That sounds very good. And once again, we're with the amazing ladies of Money is an Energy Game, Madeline Gerwick and Peg Donahue here on the Mike Wagner Show. Ladies, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to having you again soon. Do us a favor, keep us up to date. Love to have you back in 2021 and beyond. Don't forget to keep in touch. Once again, tell us about your upcoming projects, your website. How can people contact you? Where can people purchase or check out your book?
They can go to moneyisanenergygame.com. Look for, they can sign up now on Instagram and Facebook. Madeline and Peg's Money Tips for money tips that are coming out regularly. They can look for upcoming webinars.
And the free, there's a free, if you, first chapter, if they sign up on moneyisanenergygame.com for the newsletter, they'll get the free chapter. The first chapter is free.
Okay.
You can read it for free so you can get a taste of what's in there.
That sounds very good. Once again, ladies, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to having you again soon. Do us a favor, keep us up to date. Love to have you back. And don't forget to keep in touch. You guys have been terrific.
I'd love to be back. So thank you, Mike.